This is about government suppression of speech and big tech acting as a vehicle for that suppression of speech. Well, next up, I want to give you an update on some of the social media censorship Judicial Watch has been suffering through. YouTube, once again, deleted another one of our videos. I'm not quite sure why. We're trying to figure it out. But it talked about the elections, and I know there's no good reason for that censorship to take place. So just so you know, if you're watching us on YouTube and you're worried you might miss videos that might otherwise be there because of YouTube censorship, YouTube, of course, is owned by Google. You can go to Rumble, you can go, which is also another video platform. You can go to our website, which has the videos as well, and we're on all the other alternative sites, such as Parler and Getter, Gettr, and places like that. So on top of that, I've been locked out of Twitter for 10 months. I had tweeted something about hydroxychloroquine, which was accurate, which I had tweeted repeatedly. And Twitter had actually specifically told us it was okay. It told me. They said, because someone had complained about the tweet, and they said it's not in violation of the rules. Well, 3 months later, they told me it was. And they said unless I took it down, I'd be locked out. And I've been locked out for 10 months. So long story short, I took it down and I'm back on Twitter. So I'm not expecting to be back on Twitter forever because Twitter is out of control in large measure because of the leftist censorship push. But I'm back there. And I think generally it's important to be on as many sites as you're able to share the word. At least that's Judicial Watch's approach. But you should know, though, and I want to update you on this, is that one of the things the left has been saying is that these are private companies and they have a right to censor you because they're private companies. The First Amendment doesn't apply. Well, I don't believe that as a matter of law necessarily, but that's another matter. But we now know specifically that's not true. In the case of Judicial Watch, and I've reported on this before, we uncovered Freedom of Information Act documents showing the California Secretary of State's office got a video criticizing California's dirty voting rolls and other reasonable concerns we had raised, because Judicial Watch is one of the country's leading election law groups. We're national experts on elections, how they're run, and election security and other issues. And they took our video down at the suggestion of the California Secretary of State. So there you've got a government conspiracy with YouTube, Google, to take our videos down. And that raises significant constitutional concerns and makes it a bit more, don't you think, than a private matter. Similarly, they were targeting these other and others had videos and other things taken down on Twitter, on Facebook, and places like that. And it's not just Democrats. We were in the Iowa Republican Secretary of State's office didn't like the fact we criticized Iowa's dirty voting rolls. And they suggested what we said was wrong. And of course it wasn't wrong. But they went and tried to get our material taken down. So this is about government suppression of speech and big tech acting as a vehicle for that suppression of speech. A lot of the COVID restrictions are the result of the COVID censorship is the result of the people who are being targeted, saying things that are at odds with government narratives on COVID. And it doesn't matter what the topic is. But people have their views on COVID, they have their views on vaccines, they have their views on masks and other things and prophylactic treatments and things like that. And my view is they have a right to say it. And there's no basis to take it down for a private entity to say the reason we're taking it down is because it contradicts government officials who often change their minds. Remember they said there's no gain of function research? Well, turns out there was, and it was funded by Fauci's agency. That's in the news again this week, thanks in large measure to Judicial Watch, uncovering the documents that showed the NIH and Fauci's agency, the National Institutes for Allergy and Infectious Diseases, was lying. So this is a government censorship program, or they're acting as avatars of the government. So I'm back on Twitter. Judicial Watch will be a bit more active on Twitter as well. But follow us wherever you see us. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Getter, we're on Parler, I'm on Telegram, I'm on Substack, I'm on Twitter, Judicial Watch is on Twitter. We're all over. And you should be all over where you can as well, within reason. So, the censorship isn't going to stop us. We're going to stand strong against the censorship. And we're not going to stop telling the truth, because to quote George Washington, who I guess I'm still allowed to quote him, maybe I'll be deleted for quoting him. The truth will prevail where there is great pains taken to bring it to light. The truth will prevail. And the reason the left is censoring us online is because we're winning. Those of us who want to protect the Constitution, preserve the rule of law, and educate Americans, in the case of Judicial Watch, about what its government's up to, we're winning. And Twitter, outrageously, for instance, took the head of a national, the nation's largest government watchdog group, internationally known. And I don't say that to toot our own horns, but it's a fact. And they took me down because I said something that's true when they previously said it has been true. So these are dangerous times we're living in for free speech and the First Amendment.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.